So picture this. Beth Mooney is on the ground. It's literally the first delivery of the match.
Right, ball one.
Ball one. She's out for a duck,
Mm-hmm.
and her back is already heavily taped from an injury just days prior. So Australia's master plan is completely in the shredder before the crowd has even settled into their seats.
Oh, absolutely. But what happens next is just, well, it's an absolute masterclass in psychological warfare.
Yeah, and welcome to today's deep dive. We're looking at a fascinating match report chronicling a brilliant summer evening at Headingley.
A really incredible evening.
It really was.
Yeah.
We're talking about Australia's crushing 113-run victory over Pakistan in the Women's T20 World Cup. But the mission here isn't just to, recite a box score to you.
No, that would be boring.
Right. We want to deconstruct how a championship team responds to immediate, unmitigated disaster. We're breaking down how scoreboard pressure actually physically manifests in an opponent's mistakes.
It's really a study in a very specific, almost intimidating brand of resilience. The sheer bulletproof grit required to dominate at this level.
Exactly. And just to tease what's coming, we've got a player hitting a career milestone after 51 attempts.
Which is wild.
So wild. And another player literally having her body reassembled mid-game just to stay on the pitch.
Yeah, that part is not for the faint of heart.
Definitely not. So let's start at the beginning. Every legendary sports performance usually starts with a moment of severe adversity, right?
Right.
And Australia faced this literally on the very first delivery. As we mentioned, Beth Mooney is playing hurt. She had retired hurt on 74 not out against the Netherlands just days before.
Yeah, severe back pain. So she steps up, she faces Sadia Iqbal.
And she prods outside off. It's a bit tentative.
And Gulfaroza pulls off this spectacular one-handed diving catch to her right at slip. I mean, first ball, first duck.
Instantly, Australia is staring down a zero momentum start. Now, okay, let's unpack this. If you're a team and you lose your opener on ball one, the natural inclination is to consolidate, right?
Totally. You defend, you knock it around for singles, assess the pitch. You just ensure you don't lose a second wicket in the power play.
Right, like a boxer who slips on their way into the ring. You want to regain your footing. But instead, they stand up and deliver a flawless, staggering combination of strikes.
They really did. They completely ignored conventional wisdom.
They actively defied it. Ellyse Perry and Georgia Voll take the crease, and within minutes, they absolutely tear into Pakistan's attack.
Yeah, Diana Baig, who is, a seasoned seamer, but this was her maiden tournament encounter.
She gets dismantled. 19 runs in her first over.
19 runs, including 3 boundaries for Perry, and the pressure gets so intense that the wicketkeeper, Moniba Ali, drops 5 wides down the leg side.
Just a total system overload. Then Fatima Sana comes in, goes for 17 runs in her second over. By the end of the power play, Australia rockets to 64 for 1.
Which, by the way, was the tournament's highest power play score.
Right. But wait, I have to challenge this narrative a bit. Was this entirely Australia's tactical brilliance? Or did Pakistan just choke the moment they got an advantage?
That's a really fair question.
I mean, Diana Baig is playing her first tournament match. Did her nerves just serve up a platter of easy, short deliveries for Perry?
Well, you have to look at how Perry created those short deliveries. This wasn't Baig just, losing her radar in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Perry was actively manipulating the crease.
What do you mean by manipulating?
So, when a batter uses deft footwork stepping out or hanging really deep, they're scrambling the bowler's spatial awareness. Baig's lengths were disrupted because Perry was systematically removing her margin for error.
Oh, wow. So she's forcing the mistake.
Exactly. Think of Australia's batting lineup not as just individuals, but as a heavily engineered fail-safe grid.
A fail-safe grid. Okay, I like that.
Right. When a massive power surge hits a grid and takes out a critical node Mooney, in this case a poorly designed system shorts out, the lights go dark.
But a championship system reroutes the power.
Without missing a single beat. Perry and Voll didn't just absorb the pressure, they reflected it directly back onto Baig and Sana.
Which explains Moniba Ali dropping those 5 wides. The system is overloading on Pakistan's end.
Precisely. Perry's footwork forced the bowlers to adjust, which forced the keeper to scramble.
And the source material has this amazing visual. It mentions Perry stepping out and hitting a magnificent 6 over a leaping Ramin Shamim at long on.
A perfect balance of strength, grace, and timing.
Yeah. And mentally, that 6 over long on tells the opposing captain, your early breakthrough means absolutely nothing to us.
It's the ultimate power move.
So Perry and Voll put together this massive century partnership. They lay the foundation, And Australia eventually posts a massive 199 for 7.
Huge target.
Yeah. And Perry finishes with 71 off 48 balls. But the context of this innings is what really blew my mind at the sources.
Oh, the milestone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perry has participated in all 10 T20 World Cups. This was her 51st tournament outing, and this was her first half-century.
It's a staggering statistic for someone of her talent.
My initial reaction was total disbelief. I mean, she had a 42 against New Zealand back in 2016.
Right.
And her career highs are 75 and 72, not out from the 2022 India Tour.
Right, so she's capable.
Exactly. But here's where it gets really interesting. We assume athletes have a fixed ceiling after a decade of play. But if Perry is finding a completely new gear in her 51st World Cup outing, are we completely misunderstanding how athletes evolve?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it really challenges how we view athletic peaks. We often confuse a physical peak with an overall athletic peak.
Right, like reflexes and speed.
Yeah, at 22, your fast-twitch muscle fibers might fire a millisecond faster. But elite players don't just rely on raw reflexes, they rely on accumulated intelligence.
So it's less about raw bat speed and more about, like, predicting the geometry of the field.
Exactly. By her 51st World Cup match, Perry isn't just reacting to a ball. She's decoding the captain's mind. She looks at Fatima Sana's field placement and already knows where the gaps are before the run-up even starts.
Wow, so she's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
Yeah, she recognizes patterns that a younger player simply hasn't lived through enough times to see. That innings wasn't just physical, it was a masterclass in reading the field. It requires decades of mental data collection.
I love that. She's playing the game in high definition while everyone else is buffering. But okay, let's look at the other side of the pitch.
Pakistan's chase.
Right. Australia posts 199 for 7. Facing an intimidating target of 200, the psychological weight shifts entirely. Now, the sources do emphasize that Pakistan had moments of jubilation in the field.
They definitely didn't just roll over.
No, Nashra Sandhu had an unbelievable 10th over. 2 wickets in 3 balls. Ash Gardner chips one straight to cow corner for a second ball duck, and then volley holes out to long off.
And Ramin Shamim was highly effective, too. She dismissed Georgia Wareham and Annabelle Sutherland.
And there was that review.
Yep.
Pakistan successfully reviewed a brilliant catch where Muniba Ali slid forward to grab a dying gloved bouncer off Perry from Sana's bowling.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal catch.
So they were holding catches, executing reviews, but then they actually have to bat. And they hit 50 for 3 in the power play.
Which is, not catastrophic.
Right, but the collapse that follows,
Yeah.
it's just brutal. They are completely swallowed by scoreboard pressure. Pakistan is ultimately bowled out for 86.
Yeah.
And the catalyst wasn't unplayable bowling. It was completely catastrophic running between the wickets. 3 separate runouts.
And this is exactly the anatomy of scoreboard pressure. It's so easy to look at a scorecard and think, oh, a run out is just a physical error, someone was too slow.
But it's more than that.
It's cognitive overload. It's a total breakdown in communication fueled by the panic of needing boundaries.
Break that down for me. How does a massive target actually change how an athlete processes a run?
Well, it shrinks your peripheral vision, literally and metaphorically. When you're chasing 200, that required run rate is just a ticking clock in your head.
Right, you can't ignore it.
Your brain's processing power is entirely hijacked by anxiety about the final score. In a normal, low-pressure game, a batter hits the ball, assesses the fielder, calculates the distance, and communicates clearly.
It's just a quick math equation.
Solved in a tenth of a second. But under a 200-run mountain, the math gets scrambled, the desperation triggers a fight-or-flight response.
And the communication fractures.
Exactly. The brain screams, I must manufacture a run, and it overrides the visual data that says the fielder already has the ball.
And we saw this play out in agonizing detail. Let's look at the first one. Mooney mishandles a ball down the leg side. Muniba Ali sees a half chance, hesitates, sends her opening partner Feroza back, and Feroza is gone.
That hesitation is the cognitive overload. 2 players processing the risk differently because the pressure has decoupled their partnership.
And then it happens again. Aisha Zafar pushes to cover, gets sent back by Muniba, and a throw from Sophie Molyneux to Mooney catches Zafar out.
Just brutal.
And the final one is just bleak. Shamim is sent back by her captain, Sana. Voll's throw to Mooney beats her by a mile.
Notice how the trust is just gone. They stopped playing the ball in front of them and started playing the oppressive number on the scoreboard.
Meanwhile, Australia's veterans are operating with this clinical, almost frightening resilience.
Oh, yeah.
Ellyse Perry, who just battered them with the bat, enters the bowling attack in the 10th over. Pakistan is already reeling at 4 wickets down.
And she just tightens the vise.
2 wickets for 9 runs in that single over. Muniba Ali caught at mid-wicket, and Aliyah Reyes caught behind.
The game was effectively over right there.
Then Sophie Molyneux takes 2 for 6, and Annabelle Sutherland takes 2 for 12 to clean up the tail. Pakistan bowled out for a mere 86 with 6.2 overs remaining.
A complete demolition.
It really was. But, amid all these stats, the ultimate symbol of Australian dominance for me, it wasn't Perry's batting or bowling.
It was Beth Mooney.
It was Beth Mooney's bulletproof bravery. Remember, the team called her early departure in the previous game precautionary, but she took a massive beating in this match.
Yeah, that was tough to watch.
She gets smacked on the fingertips by a wide Kim Garth delivery. She's visibly in pain. She has to have a dislocated finger reset by the medics.
I mean, think about the physics of that. You're catching a solid leather sphere traveling at well over 100 kilometers an hour. A dislocation is excruciating.
And she puts the gloves right back on, only to get hit again trying to catch an edge from Muniba.
Which requires the exact same finger to be wrapped.
Right. Despite all this, Mooney stays on the field, and she's involved in 5 total dismissals. So what does this all mean? If you're Pakistan and you look across the pitch and see the wicketkeeper literally popping her finger back into place just to stay in the game.
It's devastating to your morale. It projects this aura of complete invincibility. It's like trying to knock down a fortress.
A fortress that patches itself up and just keeps firing.
Exactly. If the other team is willing to endure that level of physical pain for a single dismissal in a game, they are already winning by a massive margin. It tells you their hunger is insatiable.
It goes back to that fail-safe grid analogy. Pakistan took out a node on the very first ball of the match, and the system didn't just survive. It absorbed everything.
Mooney's physical grit behind the stumps completely mirrors Perry and Voll's tactical grit in the first over. Australia simply methodically crushed the resistance.
And that's really the big takeaway here. This 113-run triumph secured Australia's 4th straight win. But it was a game defined by Perry's historic 71 and dual-threat bowling, Mooney's absurd toughness, and Pakistan's inability to withstand that crushing pressure.
It shows that talent gets you to the World Cup, but cognitive endurance is what actually wins the matches.
Exactly. And for you listening, whether you're managing a complex project or facing a really stressful week at work, there is a profound lesson in Australia's response to that first ball duck.
There really is.
True professionals don't let early, unexpected disasters derail their strategy. They use them to sharpen their focus.
They reroute the power immediately.
Right. And it leads us with a really fascinating thought to mull over. Ellyse Perry played 50 World Cup matches without a half-century, only to achieve it flawlessly in her 51st.
It's incredible.
It begs the question in our own lives and careers, how often do we prematurely decide we have reached our ceiling when in reality our absolute best performance might still be decades in the making?
It's a great point. Maybe your peak isn't behind you. Maybe you just need that accumulated experience to finally read the field perfectly.
Exactly. Something to think about the next time you face a first ball disaster.